Good morning, this is your AI host, Jay. I'm here with the automatically generated, Journato, morning headlines on July 25, 2023. Man supported after refusing to pay $11 to sit next to girlfriend on plane. The Independent, people are sharing photos of airline passengers who don't exit by row. Deadly U.S. Southwest heatwave will expand to cover much of America as warnings issued. Sky News, weather tracker, extreme heat grips Death Valley in California. Nova Scotia floods, body found of one of 4 missing. BBC, 2 killed, 2 missing after violent flooding in eastern Canada. Al Jazeera English, Nova Scotia, body found amid search for 4 missing after furious flooding. The Guardian, Canadian police find remains after severe flooding in Nova Scotia. The Independent, RCMP, body and human remains found in Nova Scotia flooding. Unanswered questions about Trump's looming January 6 indictment. The Independent, Fulton County prosecutors ready to seek charges in Trump Georgia investigation. The Guardian, former U.S. President Trump stares at 3rd indictment, to face charges for inciting Capitol riots. News 18, Donald Trump News Today, Trump lashes out at deranged Jack Smith as potential indictment over January 6 looms. Biden administration sues Greg Abbott over floating border wall in Rio Grande. Russia-Ukraine war, UN chief calls on Russia to return to Black Sea grain deal. U.S. journalist wounded in drone attack, as it happened. The Guardian, UN chief urges Russia to revive grain deal with Ukraine, warning the most vulnerable will suffer. The Independent, Black Sea grain, collapse of Russia-Ukraine Black Sea deal fit cause food crisis. BBC, #112. Putin says Moscow will replace Ukrainian grain shipments to Africa. WION, UN chief urges Russia to return to Black Sea deal. North Korea fires missiles into sea hours after U.S. submarine arrives in the south. The Guardian, North Korea fires missiles off its coast as U.S. nuclear sub arrives in South Korea. The Independent, Korea fires missiles after U.S. submarine arrives in S. Korea. Al Jazeera English, North Korea fires 2 ballistic missiles, say South Korea and Japan. A dark day for Israeli democracy. U.S. Jewish groups denounce Netanyahu's judicial overhaul. The Guardian, White House says Israel's judicial overhaul vote unfortunate. Al Monitor, Israel's parliament passes controversial law limiting judicial oversight. NPR News Now. NPR, Biden can push Netanyahu to protect Israel's democracy and security. Bloomberg, how Biden should address Israel's judiciary crisis. Obama's chef Tafari Campbell dies in paddleboarding accident. BBC, Obama's personal chef drowns near their Martha's Vineyard home. The Telegraph, body of chef to Barack and Michelle Obama recovered from Martha's Vineyard pond. The Boston Globe, Barack Obama's personal chef drowns in pond near the family's Massachusetts home. School gym roof collapses in China, killing 11. The Guardian, China school gymnasium roof collapses, kills 11. WION, China, 11 die as roof collapses on girls' volleyball team. BBC, schoolgirls killed by gym roof collapse in China, AJ #shorts. Al Jazeera English, 11 people dead after school gymnasium roof collapses in China. Russia-Ukraine war live, Moscow launches drone strikes on Kyiv, UN says mines found at Zaporizhzhia plant. The Guardian, Russia accuses Ukraine of terrorism after drone strike near Moscow, Russia-Ukraine war live, WION. WION, Russia accuses Ukraine of Moscow drone attack. BBC, drones hit Moscow buildings and weapons store in Crimea. Financial Times, sirens blare in Kyiv as Ukrainian forces down Russian drones. Israel judicial reform, crowds confront police as key law passed. BBC, Israel passes reform law despite mass protests, BBC News. BBC News, thousands in Israel protest against Netanyahu's judicial overhaul, in pictures. The Guardian, Israel, passage of Netanyahu's judicial coup law ignites mass protests. Al Jazeera English, Israel's protesters prepare next phase of battle for democracy. This was all for the news. Thanks for listening. Please do not forget to like and subscribe.